Good morning, everybody. This is Roger Thunder, the Desert Shaman. Well, this is the end of the series on raising your consciousness. And I suggest that if you really want to learn this stuff, if you're coming in on this fourth lesson, that you go back and you review lessons 1, 2, 3, and then this lesson 4, which will kind of wrap up this series and allow me to go on to other aspects of raising your consciousness, although I will probably name that a different name for the next series. I'm thinking about doing a series on Tantra yoga, okay, which entails using this, what you learn from this set of lessons and perfecting it and trying to get it to where you're actually feeling something, feeling a difference. Once you get this down, then you can use it in conjunction with other people. In other words, if you have a lover, a sexual partner, whatever, then you can use this for purposes of mutual raising of the consciousness together in a sacred sexual fashion. However, you don't have to do that. That's just a plus that I'm thinking about adding in the next series. You have to get this stuff down and get the energy flowing and do everything that I mentioned. So let me go over a quick review here. I started off with abdominal breathing, just relaxing and doing the abdominal breathing. That's in part 1, relaxing and doing the abdominal breathing, and then I touched on alternate nostril breathing, and I touched on using the chakras, using the energy to open the 7 chakras in the midline of the body and raising up the energy up your spine so that you can open those chakras and get them spinning. I'm surprised that there's no more comments or no more questions in regards to these techniques, because I would think there would be. And feel free, if you want to leave a comment below, feel free to do so. Gotta have my morning coffee here. Like I say, I'm kind of surprised that I haven't got more comments and more questions. Actually, I'm noticing that I haven't got quite as many views. So what's the problem, people? Are you afraid to do this? Or do you think it's over your head? Or do you think meditation is too mystical? Or do you think that you don't have the time? Or because I don't get for 1 minute why you wouldn't want to feel better. I don't get for 1 minute why you wouldn't want to raise your consciousness. I don't get for 1 minute that you wouldn't want to do something to enhance your life, to make your life better, to detach from the lower dimensional realm and ascend to the higher dimensional realm and step outside the bonds or the matrix of this illusion, this reality, this forced reality, excuse me, on mankind. I don't get that. But this will be good for those people that are really interested. The other people that aren't interested, well, good luck. Good luck with coping. Because I'm giving you tools to cope. I'm giving you tools to raise your consciousness. Excuse me. I'm giving you tools that you can use to change your reality, to manifest the kind of reality you want. But in order to do that, you have to realize who you are and who you aren't, okay? I'll tell you who you aren't. It's not who you think you are. It's not whatever your name is and whatever your role you think is in life. It's much higher than that. You have to tune in to the universal consciousness to really understand the control that you have over your reality, or what you might want to call your reality, or what you think that reality is. Your worldview. These exercises are going to help you transcend and ascend to a higher level. So I suggest that if you're coming in on this video, that you go back and you go review 1, 2, 3 on the lessons of raising your consciousness, and you practice these things. I can't do it for you. You have to do it yourself. All I can do is present the information. The only other way that you're going to get enlightenment is if you have a master come up, touch your third eye, and give you Shakti Put, which is an instantaneous enlightenment. I can't do that on a video. I can do that in person, but I can't do it on a video. So you're going to have to at least try. Again, I would like to get feedback. I would like to get some comments. I would like to have people email me and ask me, well, how do I do this? Or am I doing this wrong? Or I'm not getting this feeling, or I don't understand what you're saying in certain places, and I need clarification, that type of thing. I'm here if you need that. Like I said, my email is in the show notes, along with other things. So you should do that. And if you don't do it, if you feel comfortable with the instruction that I've given, then well, that's okay too. Maybe my instruction is good enough so that you don't need to ask a bunch of questions. I hope that's the case. I was a flight instructor for a long time, so I know. And I have been a teacher in martial arts, so I think I know what I'm doing as far as instructing people and trying to lay it out in a fashion that they can understand. So, let me explain a little bit about, let me go over just some illustrations so that you'll understand what went down before. So what I covered so far is doing the alternative nostril, or the alternate nostril breathing. That's in Lesson 1, bringing in the energy, the chi, the prana from the universe, doing abdominal breathing, raising the kundalini and the energy, or the serpent energy, up the spine, opening the chakras, the energy centers. Picture of the kundalini again here, raising up the energy from the base of the spine, raising up the serpent energy or the kundalini energy, opening up your crown chakra, getting in touch with your higher self, which is called the Purusha or the Para-Atman, plugging into that infinite source through these techniques, through these breathing techniques, pranayama techniques, using the prana and the chi and the universal energy to your benefit. I touched on hugging the tree, Taoist exercise, where you can use this same energy. Shows you how to use the energy, how to ground, how to pretend like you're hugging a tree and the roots going into the ground and the roots from your feet going into the ground. All this stuff is in previous videos, so if you're watching this video, I'm just giving you a taste of what I have already taught. The inner smile, smiling down into your internal organs and making yourself feel a whole hell of a lot better through relaxation. Abdominal breathing, breathing down here into the abdomen, dropping down the diaphragm as you breathe out, letting the diaphragm float back up as you exhale. Keeping the tongue on the roof of your mouth, circulating the energy up and around the crown and down through the perineum. So I thought I had some more on here displaying the chakras. Let me see if I can find that. If I can't, well, that means they went into the recycle bin. Okay, here they are. This is a picture of Babaji, the immortal, the deathless saint of the Kriya Yoga tradition, which I was initiated in back in around 1986. Taught primarily by Paramahansa Yogananda. Got the chakras here that I'm talking about, the energy centers, moving the energy up the spine to the third eye. Got the names of the chakras here. Picture of the pineal gland. This is all a review for those who have been watching. Picture of the pineal gland. How you raise energy up, activate that. How you can suck it in from back behind the neck here from the medulla or from the perineum area where the base chakra is. Circulation of the microcosmic orbit, drawing energy up through your feet, storing it in your dantian, 1.5 inches below the navel, the second chakra, seed sound, vom, vom. Another picture of the energy raising up the spine there, the chakras. All of this stuff is stuff that I covered in detail in the last video. So the third eye, the colors of the chakras and the Sanskrit designations for them and their location on the body. So these are some of the things that I went through in the last videos, in the previous videos of this series. Just so, you know, just to give you a taste in case you're coming in late, what I went through so that you can maybe Maybe it'll spark an interest in you. And again, the reason that I'm doing this is because the world is in such a chaotic state right now. The overlay of the artificial intelligence on the natural intelligence of the universe and smothering it is what's causing all the anxiety and problems and fear and tension in you and in your physical body, your organism. And I'm just trying to teach you a way to supersede or to ascend above this through meditation techniques. Pretty simple stuff, although you could say it's complex too at the same time. But it's stuff you need to know. It's stuff that if you want to be able to, I hate to use the word survive, but that's the way it's getting to look right now with the world situation the way it is. If you want to transcend to a different level in order to survive, that's the only way you're going to survive. See, we're all immortal. It's a matter of realizing our oneness with the creative source, the divine emanation. Realizing that we are one with that, just like I said in the previous videos, that the mantra is so hum, meaning he is me, and hung sa, meaning I am him, or I am it. Hate to use the word him, but even in the old Vedic traditions, they use that term sometimes. Actually, the divine emanation is he, she, okay? It's when the energy is projected that it created the universe and created the earth and the cosmos and everything that we see around us, all the whole energy field, when that was projected out, it included the yin and the yang, it included the duality, it included the male and female aspects, the god and the goddess aspects, the Shiva, which is God, and the Shakti, which is the goddess aspects of the universe. And this is all basically, if it's in the universe and if it's all around us, and if that's how the universe works in this soup of the yin and yang, the spinning chaotic energy, if that Shiva Shakti energy is there, then around us, well, then you better believe it's just as much inside of us. That's why I tell people that, you don't necessarily need an outside lover or an outside mate or an outside companion when you have that stuff right inside you. Am I saying that it's wrong to have a companion outside? No, because that companion outside is ultimately a projection of that feminine energy. If you're a male and you meet a woman and you hook up with her, that's actually a reflection of yourself, okay? And that self, that reflection of yourself comes from within. So you have that all within you. So in my next series, I'm going to be doing a thing on Tantra, which is a mindset or a worldview or a way of thinking or a philosophy or a spiritual philosophy about using this energy with another person and yourself in conjunction together as a oneness, to where you can actually amplify this consciousness raising. Like I said in one of my books, as far as a sexual experience goes, this is kind of like white water rafting over Niagara Falls. you're never going to ever approach any kind of situation, let's say just the normal person, having a sexual relationship with their mate and having union and having sexual union. You have no idea of how good it could be if you know Tantra and if you know these exercises. Perhaps that will be an inspiration for people to learn this stuff. Because once you bring this into your relationship, then your whole relationship changes. It goes from mundane to supercharged, okay? It goes from mundane to supercharged. You have no idea. You have no idea. And this could possibly even if your relationship is on the rocks, let's say, this could possibly save that relationship if you both are of the same mind of wanting to enhance your connection with the divine source, and doing that together changes the whole complexion of your relationship. It makes it, it enhances it. You come in with a different viewpoint. Your viewpoint is you realize that the person you're with is actually you, and you realize that the person you're with is actually a vessel for gaining enlightenment on a higher level if you work together. See, that's the problem is this is in relationships is communication most of the time, not understanding what the big picture is. And that big picture is that you were both, you're one, and you can be a oneness, and you can shed all the bullshit, okay, all the little issues that get in the way of you being a oneness. You can think alike, you can feel alike, you can trip the light fantastic, basically, if you know what you're doing. You transcend all the fear and the anxiety and the competition with your partner and the arguments and the thinking you're not on the same page. You can be exactly on the same page if you raise your consciousness to the point where you realize what those pages are. You realize what those pages are. You realize what the ego is. You realize how the ego gets in the way of you being unified as a oneness. So that's why this stuff is so important, not just on the level of transcending the world and all the problems in the world and all the phony reality of the world, but also transcending what people have been indoctrinated to believe are good, quote unquote, relationships. They have, people have this reality, okay, this concept that again has been indoctrinated in them from day one about what relationships should be and the morality of relationships and what the role of the man, the breadwinner, and the role of the woman, the little woman in the house cooking the meals. And This transcends all that bullshit. Knowing this stuff transcends all that bullshit. Because that's what it is. It's just something that has been indoctrinated in you from biblical sources, from religious sources, from societal sources, from schools, from institutions, from government. All of these things seek to divide and not to unify. You can't become unified, you can't trust until you realize your oneness with another person. Till you realize that where real happiness comes from. It doesn't come from out there. It doesn't come from searching around for greener pastures. People are too quick to throw in the towel on relationships. Oh, there's greener pastures. Or, oh, this is wearing out. Or that person will make me happy. Another person will make me happier. Another person will fulfill my needs better than the one I'm with. Let's just junk this relationship and move on to another one so that we can make the same fucking mistakes over again. So that we can go through the same process over again of imposing what we have learned from societal conditioning onto our mates, or imposing what we have learned from our parents, trying to make a relationship other than what it should be. A relationship should be spiritual. It should be on a high frequency. Because once you get to that point, I'll just put it bluntly, it's not like, jumping on each other's bones and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Or thank you, sir. I had 5 minutes of what I call sexual pleasure, physical sexual pleasure. See, I'm kind of lining you up for the Tantra thing, which I'm going to be doing next. It's not about wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and a slow screw against the wall. That's not what it's about. And then it's over with, and you're on to other things. What it's about is having a high level of consciousness and a high level of knowing, so that when you unify, you're not unifying just on a physical level. You're not you're not unifying. Are you unifying on an erotic level? Well, yes, you are. The highest eroticism that's ever available to anybody on this planet, if they know what they're doing. But when you realize that you have the male in you or the female within you, whether you're a man or a woman, depending, well, then that part of you unites with the, let's say I unite with a female outside of me in physical form, that coincides with what's already inside of me and purifies it to the extent of a mingling of energies of the cosmos. So when people lose, let's say, their erotic passion or their sexual passion, I'm just talking bluntly here, in relationships, oh, we don't get it on anymore because you have a very, very fucking low viewpoint of what getting it on is. It's more like turning it on, not getting it on. It's more like letting it flow. It's like letting the passion flow. It's all about energy. It's all about a high manipulation of energy, a high using of energy, a high loving of energy, a high erotic, primal energy, and your recognition that that's a very healing force. Doesn't have to be a competitive force. It doesn't have to be a repelling force. It can be a force of unification. Take, for example, you start taking your mate for granted and you start walking around the house and you talk in your normal ways and you maybe even sometimes avoid one another or you avoid looking in each other's eyes. And that person just becomes more like a roommate or a stranger. How about if you're walking around the house and your mate comes up to you and exudes passionate, primal sexual energy, touches you, gets the energy flowing, lets that energy flow freely as a healing source. Well, if you think that sex is good, and you think that the primal part of the sex is good, let it flow all the time. What's the problem? Let it flow all the time. Be with one another all the time in a very energetic, sexual, passionate, flowing, free-flowing, no fear, none of this morality, none of this role-playing. That people get into, people get locked into. They play a role. They play what I call a romantic role. What is romance? Oh, I get all excited when I see him and I get all fuzzy all over. And we first met, it was so good. And we were always jumping each other's bones and we were doing this and doing that. And then all of a sudden it wore off like a year, 2 years later. Why? Ask yourself why it wore off. Because you got into the role-playing of life. You got into the what others have told you should be rather than what you know should be on a higher level. You don't have to let any of that stuff go dormant. You keep it fresh all the time. How do you do that? By all kinds of means, okay? By touch. Just touching. Rubbing up against. Hugging, okay? Not with the idea of, well, we're going to jump in bed later and I'm going to, it's basically, going to lead to us jumping in bed. How about being in bed together as you're walking around? How about being in bed together and having that primal energy flow all the time? Not like, okay, at 6 o'clock, we're going to go into the bedroom here and get it on. And then it's going to be over with, and then we'll be on to other things like cooking dinner and cleaning the house and washing the car and do it together, clean together, wash the car together. This is why relationships fail, because people think that the only time that they can let that primal energy flow or that sexual energy or whatever you want to call it is at a certain time of the day, and it has to be from 5:30 to 6. We'll make time. Make time for happiness? We'll make a little time for happiness here. We'll make a little time for erotic ecstasy. That isn't how it works, people. I'm telling you right now, that is not how it fucking works. I guess I might name this last little bit on how all this stuff that I'm teaching you applies to on an energetic level, on a passionate level, on a sexual level. We call it sex, but actually it's way beyond sex. It's energy. It's primal energy that flows and is supposed to flow all the time. It's healing. Can you hug a person and not let that energy flow? Well, yeah. It's a phony hug then. It's a phony, it's not real. Go up, hug your mate, and if you're a woman that has been mad at your husband or a husband that's been mad, let all that shit go and just feel what the energy feels like, the primal, sexual, erotic energy, and let it flow like you're already in bed. That's what this stuff is good for. It's good for relationships between a man and a woman, and knowing that you love the outer man as much as you love the inner man, if you're a woman, and you love the outer woman as much as you love the inner woman, if you're a man. Get my drift here? It's all the fucking same. Excuse my French today, but I'm trying to help people, with these teachings. And they think that, oh, it's just some ascetic thing that certain people do, and I don't know if I'm into that. I don't know how that's going to help me. You have no idea unless you do this stuff. So I would suggest that you get your ass back on lesson number 1 and 2 and 3 and start having a different viewpoint as to what this energy can be used for, because it can be used for Tantra, tantric sex, which is beautiful. And you don't even need to go to bed. That's the beauty of it. You can walk around the house and it's flowing all the time, because sex is not just a physical act. It's a energetic act. It's an energetic act. And it's flowing all the time. It's flowing all the time. The energy's flowing all the time. The yin and the yang. The raising of the kundalini. You hug, oh wow. I feel the kundalini. I feel my base chakra opening up. Wow. I feel the chakra between my legs opening up in my perineal area. I feel it opening up, and oh wow. It can also rise up, blow the top of my head off, my crown chakra. You can have that as you're just walking around the house or being in the car or holding hands or taking a trip or whatever you're doing. So then you might ask, well, what about when you do go to bed? Well, then you get into these tantric positions, lotus positions, facing one another. And you can touch, like I said before, when you touch the tongue on the roof of your mouth, well, you actually touch each other's tongue. And that energy flows not only through your being, but through your partner's being. And that's when this consciousness, boom, that's when you become one. You can actually become her and she can become you. Boom, 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 back and forth. This stuff is very high on healing. The high on healers are at work. This is stuff that you need to know in your relationship. How you can save your relationship so that, your woman isn't out there looking for Mr. Goodbar, another 5 minutes of pleasure that dissipates and is gone, boom, with the wind. Or you're not out there cruising the titty bars, okay, looking for something that you got right there within you and without you. Saving your relationship. You can save your relationship with these practices because you're going to be on another level. Going to get out of that bullshit level you're on of thinking that your happiness comes from outside yourself, or searching for another person, or searching for another circumstance, or searching for something out there that's already within you and your mate. It's already there, people. Bypass the mundane and go for the profane, because profanity is none other. What some people call profanity can be as sacred as anything else. It's all a moralistic point of view. Oh, we can't do that. We can't do that. That's taboo. Taboo is good. Taboo is good. That's naughty. Oh, we'll make it fun then. Make naughty fun. See it for what it is. What's better than, some people like to be naughty, it arouses them. Okay, well, be naughty then. Be naughty. What is naughty? Well, it's that feeling of doing something that you shouldn't. It's that feeling of doing something that you shouldn't. Oh, we're naughty, but this is fun because we're break the rules all the time. Not just at certain times. Oh, I'm going to have a rendezvous with a lover. Rendezvous all the time. Throw that morality bullshit out the window and just get down with the feeling that you get from transcending the rules, transcending the taboo. Boy, I bet you didn't expect to hear this today. Well, the reason you're hearing it is because I don't think people realize the gravity of what it means to learn about energy and learn what the benefits are. Man, you can heal each other. You can heal your complete mental, physical, spiritual selves by just letting that energy flow. And see, this applies not only in a relationship, but your relationship with the world, with Mother Earth, with the cosmos, with the divine emanation. You can be in constant ecstasy. You can be in constant ecstasy with the world, with the Creator. The Creator is feminine, it's goddess, and it's God too. It's male, female. This is what these practices are for. to get you in the slot, to get you in the groove, so that you're not paranoid and not in a mindset that is destroying you and your relationship, or destroying you and your relationship with the world, with the cosmos. Start with your mate. And if you don't have a mate, start with the mate inside you. Start with the feminine. If you're a man, start with the feminine inside you. Tantra is not just about having a mate outside you, it's about inside you. And as I said in my previous videos, the Ida and the Pingala, okay, that's the female and male energies within you. Or the Do channel and the Ren channel, or the, this channel and that channel, and the kundalini energy, the snake, okay? Raising your consciousness and making everything okay. Seeing with the third eye and realizing that all of this stuff around you that you've been programmed with is bullshit. It's bullshit. It's keeping you from your true self, your higher self. So anyway, I'm ranting on here, but I thought I would put that out there, and I probably will name the last in this series how it affects relationships, how it affects relationships with the world and with your mate. Use this. Tantra is the next step. Tantra is realizing. It's a state of mind. It's the real true Tantra is the left-hand path. There is no, taboos, or we shouldn't do this, or we shouldn't do that. No, you couple up on all levels. Okay? You couple up. You become one. That's what this is all about. So anyway, a little bit of food for thought there. Sometimes I get on a roll and it's just coming, it's just flowing through me. It's just stuff you need to know. It's stuff you need to know. Forbidden knowledge. Hidden knowledge that they don't want you to know about. They don't want you to know about this stuff because why? Because then you see things you never saw before. You see visions, you see the future, you see the past, you see that it's all one. Get with it, people. Watch this series and realize what it's really all about. It's not just, I'm a meditator now and I'm a yogi and I'm this and that. No, you're a shaman or a shamaness. You manipulate the energy to your pleasure and for your growth and for your well-being. Okay. Did I rant enough? I'm going to leave it there. So this is the last of the series, and review it and pass it on and like it and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. I didn't even do my little pitch for my book today. That's all right. You'll see it in the previous videos. I talk about all this stuff in my books. Emergence, which is a novel, and Listen to the Wind, Speak from the Heart. Available at spiritofcrazyhorse.com with a donation of $10, and I'll email you the book, PDF form. And the link is in the show notes. So I'll leave it there today. Think about what I said. Namaste.